Hi, ladies. How's it going? It's been a few weeks since we last saw each other. Hi, Madube. Hi, Damilola. Hi, Veronica. Hey, Ronnie. Hey, Jibs. How are we all doing today? It's very cold in Lagos, Nigeria. I bring you all greetings from Lagos, Nigeria, and it's very wet. The weather is yeah. It's quite wet today, but I just really want to say a big thank you to everyone that's joining us today for the Borderless Trade Salon series, Women in Business Breakfast Meeting 2.0. And we are very privileged to do this year's Salon series in partnership with the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs and the US Consulate through Ascend Studios Foundation. I want to thank my friend, Dr. Inya, for allowing us to host another Salon series with the AWE women. I do want to say that there are many things that I wanted to discuss, which is why we decided to start just a few minutes earlier before other people sort of join us, for the rest of the program. This year, we were still in COVID, and a lot of what we were all experiencing was having to readjust. How many of you had to readjust? And you know exactly what I'm saying, like your business, even you as the woman behind the business, there was a lot of readjustment that you had to do. Right. Thank you. Exactly. You know, to find new ways of doing things, business, network.
Okay, so I do believe that Dr. Olori is trying to get herself, get the network back. While she's in, please can someone go help her fix the network? Thank you. It's been raining cats and dogs here in Lagos, and I can see a few of us Lagos people can relate in the chat box, and that is affecting the network around here today. But not to worry, we'll do everything to fix that. Yes. Yes, it's seriously obstructing the network, and we'll try to increase the bandwidth so that it can accommodate whatever the network throws to us today. I can see a few people in the
Hello, everyone. So it's the network. Ada is trying to change our Wi-Fi connectivity. I think it's the rain that is disturbing the connectivity today. So we're still here. Ada is here. We have our delectable Dr. Olori. She's still here. So we're holding on for the network to come back, and we'll proceed. Yeah, you can't hear anything, no worries. Is the network here? Just hold on. Once they fix it, you will come back. No, we must have today's session. We've been looking forward to the Borderless Trade Network Salon series. So we're going to have it. Let's hold on whilst they're working on the network. Yes, all right, okay. Please let me know in the chat if you got my message. I don't know if I'm audible enough. Anu, could you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Mom. You're audible.
Okay, all right. So you can hear. Oh, excellent, excellent. Yes, excellent. So let's hold on. Hi, good morning. Let's hold on for Dr. Olori to be back. Yes, you hear me. Excellent. Thank you. The next. Hello, good morning, everybody. Ada, are you back? Is your network stable now? Our delectable Ada. Okay, it's still poor. Good morning. You can hear me? Oh, okay. All right. I think the network is nice to me over here. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Oh, sunshine. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I mean, we're going to have a load. We had a bit of heavy rain last night. Oh, in Jos, well, we're having ours in Lagos and in Abuja right now, and it is heavy. Heavy. Oh, my health is fine. Thank you. Thank you so much for asking. Thank you. All right. Network. No. We're going to receive all the knowledge and information Dr. Olori has for us. So we're not going to relent. Good morning. I can see smiling faces. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Thank you to the Borderless Trade Network for having this session with the Access Studios Foundation through our AWE program. Good morning, good morning. Can't wait to see me on Monday. Well, you're not going to see me on Monday. You're going to see me on Thursday. But yes, no worries, we're together. We're going to see Anu, we're going to see Aminat, we're going to see the rest of the team. We're going to see Dr. Inya. Yeah, thank you. Good to be here. Right Thursday. No worries, no worries. We'll see you at the in-person program. No worries. You can't wait to see Miss Anu? Yes, so she's ready. Oh my, you happy to see it? Yeah, you missed a program in Abuja. Oh, no worries. I'm sure that there are several messages Borderless Trade Network Olori brings up, and then yeah, you see her in other programs. She's your love. I know you're someone's love. Yeah, you went. Oh, yeah. True. I hope you're better now. All right, so let's check. Let me check in with Ada if the network is better now, so we can continue. Much better. Oh, excellent. Your master is not approved. No, today we're talking about Borderless Trade Network. After Borderless Trade Network, we'll go to master. No problem. You know, I shared that the approval takes 24 to 72 hours. They have to check everything you submitted to be sure it's the right format, is the right date, is the right credentials. So just hold on, you're going to get your approval. Today, we're having our Borderless Trade Salon Series 2.0. So let's hold on. Let's hold on for Mansa. And we had quite a number of people who had not done. Yeah, no worries, you'll get your approval. Also, check your junk, check your spam, check your inbox, check your promotions. Perhaps the message has come in and then you didn't say it. So check there. So check. If you have not received it, just hold on. Quite a number of people they already received it and they've started with their 8 steps already. They moved to the 3rd stage. I had some of the program assistants reach out to me to let me know, okay, received, 8 steps started. See? Oh, well done. You know, so just hold on. If you've not received your approval, no worries, just hold on. Hold on. You're going to receive it. Or 491 Shotima, just hold on. You received. All right. So, well done, well done. You didn't know you could continue other steps. Oh, no. The steps, the procedure was that after approval, we're going to have another session. But we know our AWE sisters, we like to, let's take all the goodies on time. So majority reached out to the associates and then they started it already. These 8 steps I explained when, you joined the call and I broke it down. So that was what happened. You have not started Mansa, you're having issues. No problem. Send a message to your program associate or to me about it. Today is about Borderless Trade Salon Series. So let's hold on. Let's hold on. Whatever issues you're having, just send a message. Your name is this. You started this. This is the issue you're having. So yeah, that's the strength. Excellent. So today's for Borderless Trade Salon Series, AWE participants, let's hold on for Mansa. All right, I'll check in with Ada again. I'm sure it should have worked by now. Hi, Judy Emmanuel, you're new here. Welcome to the Borderless Trade Salon Series. You hold on, we're having a bit of technical issue due to the weather and we're going to come back up. We had the president of the foundation, Dr. Oloriboye Ajayi, opened the program with us with our opening remarks. Well, while she was doing that, we had technical issues. So just hold on. We're all here, our Nigerian network and weather. So let's hold on. So I'm checking in with the Borderless Trade team now. Network, right? The devil is a liar. No. Network will not have a say. No worries. We'll be good. We will be good. Okay, Ada has joined back. She's connecting her audio. So let's hold on.
Okay, am I good? Diola, can you hear me?
Yeah, she's here.
Hallelujah. Hey, my goodness, what a day to reign, My goodness, thank you so much, Diola, really. Thank you, Ladi. But yeah, it's a terrible weather, actually. Sweet for sleep, but not to do an amazing breakfast meeting like this. So I want to thank you all for your patience. And also just to reiterate a few things I had said before the network went off. So, what we looked at while putting this particular breakfast meeting together is to say, okay, what exactly is happening in the world today and how can we better prepare the women for this kind of growth, this kind of change that is happening in the world. So what we decided is beyond the breakfast meeting you and I are sat in today, we wanted to create something that we've now termed as the Go Global Week for women SMEs, which we commenced on Monday in collaboration with NEPC and the SME unit of Afrexim Bank. And what we're looking at is, for this year, a particular focus on access to markets. How many of you need more markets? Like, you're like, Olori, this country wants to run me into debt, wants to run me as the woman into a different phase, and I'm not ready. Okay, all right. Edgar says she's ready. Fantastic. Love it. Joy says she's ready. Raquel, Nkechinyere, love it, love it. So that is essentially part of what we've been looking at since the beginning of this week. How can you access markets? Now, let me just say this. You need more than a product to enter a new market. Okay, you need more than a product or a service to enter a new market. But some of these things are what we've been exploring over this week, and we're so delighted to do this, especially with AWE through Ascend Studios Foundation. And to be honest, the market is there. I can promise you this, and I'm so sure. But I want you to make up your mind today as to what kind of market are we talking about? Are we saying it's regional, domestic, international? What market do you really want to play in? Now, using a hybrid approach, we've held an in-person meeting in Abuja and also virtual workshops like the ones we're doing now on how you can go global as a woman in business. And honestly, to really elevate what has for us at the Borderless Trade Network been a truly productive week. Today, we are launching the Global Woman Program. After a year of studying and interacting with the needs of women SMEs, we've done over 50 tailored high impact programs. We've done several surveys. So we know that this program is poised to help women like yourself go global. And to be, like I said, going global does not have to be hard, but you need what I call a go global plan. Just the same way you have a business plan, you need to have a global plan that will ensure you do the first things first and move away from wishful thinking to actually being a participant and actor in the global market. You have to look at things like demand and supply of your products or your service. You have to look at product or service development, ensuring that you're meeting international standards. You're putting the days of putting your product in a Ziploc bag or a propylene that you now put a sticker on with your hand, those days are over. Like that, you can't even in some shops and stores and particular value chains, you can't even do that anymore in Nigeria. So branding and packaging becomes very important. But another thing that is also very key to your going global is trade finance, right? How many of you need more money? Like you can really do with a bit more money in your business, and you're saying, where is this money? Right? Okay. All right. Adediwura says like she needs that money. Fantastic. I hear you 100%. Okay. So essentially what we're saying is in today's conversation, we're going to be looking at that trade finance, what is available to you, how you can really begin to expand your business operations and all the likes. Now, to close the current gender finance gap, I am so pleased to announce that the Borderless Trade Network signed a partnership agreement with Jetstream Africa, who will be in today's meeting and explaining the benefits of this partnership to a woman like you who is in business and wants to expand her operations, and what this facility, this finance that is available to you will do for you. I would like to congratulate the AW women, woohoo, for finishing the program. I know that you're probably like, whew, I got this one out of the way. I got this one out of the way. But you've done really well. Well done, every single one of you, for doing this the right way. You know, I think it's just super important that we push ourselves, and you guys have done it. You've really, really done it. Now, what we're going to do is take a quick 5-minute break to sort out the last issues we're having. I don't know, Zoom has decided to do what it wants to do, and we'll keep it very short and simple by ensuring you guys don't lose your connection as well from this particular meeting. So please give us like a few minutes to ensure that we sort this out properly. Pelumi, you can go ahead. And yes, we did the numbers of participants was increased before now. So I don't know why Zoom has, done this to us, but it's okay. We move. No big deal. Thank you, Rukaya. I'm grateful. So Pelumi, if you could play the video, that would be great. Just give us a moment, guys.
And then all the way to credit. And then if we're starting our own business, unfortunately, we've started at a different starting point.
Bahia, do you have any comments on that?
I'm saying yes. Mute. Absolutely. I mean, I think in summary, and absolutely agree with both. You know, we've got both on the credit and debt and equity side. Let me pause for a second. So we've had challenge for of the historical barriers kind of remain. We know that, and we'll continue to say that this 2.2% venture capital goes to women, and less than 10% of these, everyone's point. And the access to those trusted networks. And trust is a tricky thing, because you think it's just you get introduced to someone and you're, you know, on a level playing field to build that trust, but it's really about, you know, those other connection points. But I think there's ways that women can, and I think leapfrog some of those kind of bear on people. And part of that is public-private partnership, access to capital through things like SBA Women's Business Centers and other ways to kind of draw down, or at least start to explore types of financing. It's still a huge challenge to get to those dollars, but I think there is a sea change happening now that's just starting. It's not fully baked, but there is a understanding that women outperform in terms of fund managers, investing in high growth, high potential women. I'm sure everyone on this call, in terms of my panelists, have those stats internally, and they're outperforming the market. There's also a lot of data that shows that women businesses, full stop, regardless if you're a startup or you're just a brick and mortar businesses, they do better, right? And so they're better. Women are on par, better investors, better business builders, and better startup founders. And so I think us being able to, when I say us, I mean American citizens, seeing that opportunity and doubling down on that, this is the time to do that. And in partnership with, you know, public policy, I think there could be incentives to really help expand these opportunities.
Thank you for that. So why don't we, take one step back, and for the woman who might be watching right now that says equity, debt, what are these things? If you all could share with us some of the different vehicles for financing and the vehicles for access to capital, and the ways in which one may pursue these different vehicles, and because the way you go after VC is not the same way that you.
Okay, great. I'm happy to inform everyone that the issue has been resolved. We can now accept more participants. Please, I'd like to confirm that you can hear me. Can you hear me? If you can, just say it in the chat box so that I'll know that we're all great. Thank you so much, sir. Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So continuing now, I would also like to confirm that. Oh, okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Amina. Thank you, everyone, for confirming. Let me do this. Okay, great. So we're going to continue with the Salon series. Next on the agenda, as Dr. Olori had mentioned earlier, that this year we're going to be focusing on it's not just enough to have a product, but to have a product that is fit for market. So we're going to have very seasoned speakers come on and tell us what it means for your products to be fit for market. But to commence this, before we move on to our speakers, we want to have this conversation from two major points. One, from the angle of you, the women entrepreneurs who experience firsthand this access to market challenge, and then from the angle of stakeholders who will be preferring solutions and alternative measures that you can use to combat the issue of access market. Now, first on our conversation schedule is a very notable businesswoman who has done tremendously well in combating this challenge that we speak of today. She's none other than Mrs. Sharifat Sulaiman, the CEO of Hopor Limited. Madam Sharifat, please indicate so that I can spotlight you. Thank you. Yes.
Hi.
Hello. You can start your video so that I can spotlight you as well. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're so honored to have you join us in this conversation today. Thank you. Yes, so first we're just gonna get right into it. Just tell us your story, how it has been, the challenges you've encountered in accessing market for your product, and how you have been able to combat it. So we'll just take the lead from there. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much. My name is Sharifat Olajimoke Suleiman. I am a financial inclusion expert and also a businesswoman. I mean, I actually saw a need that women, businesses, especially in the rural area, need a lot of support to grow if we have to stop urban rural migration and a whole lot of vices in the society. And I did develop a product that can attend to the need of poor people, poor active people that are into small businesses in all of these rural areas, especially, and SMEs in urban centers. And our challenge, the challenge basically then was that nobody believed in the products. I mean, nobody wants to invest in poor people. People just feel that the poor people do not have money to create enough wealth that will also keep you sustainable in business. So it was a whole lot of challenge convincing banks, convincing partners, convincing people that will key into the products to actually buy it and also support the product, deliver it, and see that there's actually profitability in that product. So the challenges was in believability. Nobody believed in it. And so we had to now keep doing it, and not just doing it for the fun of doing it. We had to keep doing it well. Even when we upscaled to a certain level, and other people, because of the free entry and free exit of the nature of the business, people keyed into the business and they want to try it. They saw that when they came onto the platform, within a few months they exit, because it's one thing to do it. The way I've tackled that challenge was not just doing it, but doing it well. I was able to show them that being a woman, the capacity wasn't a problem. We were going to just, we design this product that could serve the poor people in all of these areas. This actually also metamorphosed into me creating an agent network. And today I am proud to say that I have one of the largest agent networks in the country. I have a platform that has over 7,000 agents across the 36 states of Nigeria, including FCT, where we are able to sell financial products on behalf of third parties to the masses. Some of our agents have also grown into being POS agents on their own. Of course, we do NIMC registrations, we do BVN. We've given over 1 million Nigerians, about over 3 million Nigerians into the database for NIMS, for their BVN, and then a whole lot of other IDs that the government need. We've been able to partner today with government on implementing a lot of all of these. There are small scale projects and programs that is impacting people massively across the country. And this is because we stayed true to ourselves. And I said, I am a woman, and this is what I've discovered, that this is a problem. People in the rural areas, women especially, are left out. The crime rate will keep going on if homes are not being put together. We just have to do something. I want to be able to sleep and enjoy my own little money that I've made. You don't want people knocking on your doors because people are just not doing anything. And so you can offer them a 500 naira and they're able to carry the gun and just go into vices. So we came on and said, oh, this is a product I was going to design. It's a hard one. In fact, everybody was like, I remember having this conversation. I'm even having to play back in my memory some of the meeting rooms in Lagos and Marina, where you go to banks, you go to several banks. I have to protect a lot of the banks now. And some of their MDs or group heads will look at you like, who is this girl? What is she saying? Is this one even, does she think she knows this country at all? And I tell you, I sure know what I'm talking about. And it's okay. The few ones I had faith tested us with it. We thank Sterling Bank was a good partner, and we ran with it. And today, agency became something very pronounced, and that platform has really grown into something, and we've been able to support so many thousands of Nigerians with employment, and from literally 0 naira, our digital into the 9, 10, whatever digits, and we're even actually getting paid in dollars right now. And so I think the growth within the space of 5 years was just because the challenge was there, and how I tackled that challenge was just persistence and having to show that I will not only develop the product, we were there to implement, we learned along the way, and we kept going, and we never relented. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Madam. I just want to ask a question regarding something you had said. Now,
I'm here.
Okay, Sherifat, are you there? Sherifat, can you hear me?
She's muted, ma'am. Let me unmute her.
Thank you.
Please unmute, madam.
Yes, please.
All right, fantastic. Thank you for that. I think all of us were really astounded by the amount of growth that you guys have experienced in just in a short time. I call it a short time because there's still more that you're going to do for these communities. And just to say, my hats go off to you. Thank you for doing such an amazing work and doing it for the people that you do it for, because most times people are doing things for those that they can see, but there are people out there that nobody is really catering to them. So just to say that, yeah, thank you very much for doing this. So I have a question, Sherifat. How easy has it been, or not easy, in terms of market entry? How were you able to find markets?
Well, the market entry wasn't very easy. I have to be sincere. It wasn't very easy because like I said, nobody believed in even the products.
Yeah.
And so it was difficult to sell. It was difficult to say that you have an idea and you are a woman. That's even the most difficult part of it. And the idea seems to be a field where only men can thrive, because it seemed physical, it seemed draining, and there are a lot of other family challenges that people even think for you, not even when you're not saying that. And so the market wasn't easy. It is after the market began to gain some form of recognition, then there was a lot of influx into the market from other sides. The market entrance was very difficult, I have to be sincere.
What are the things that could help you get into the market easier?
I think for one, was that there wasn't really any known model to deal with people at such large level. There were there wasn't really much materials in terms of journal or things that one could lay hands on to read and believe. And you were trying to replicate, or you're trying to do something that today, even though it's a part of a platform, but that platform is getting awards and a whole lot of things from across the world right now. You're trying to do something that hasn't been done. So maybe what will have made it different was if there was some kind of references. Materials, people that have done it somewhere else. Or again, if there was a form of grant or some form of money that we could have used, we could have laid our hands on to test run. And then you can go to these people and say, we have these ideas, I developed this product, and I've been able to have access to $10,000, and I've been able to test run it. I've done a pilot, and this is the result. And I believe that if there was a larger fund, we could have done, and so maybe they are able to see it better. And so that support wasn't there. And if that support was available to just run, to float ideas that seem crazy enough, maybe we would have had easier entrance into the market, because now you've tested it, they've seen it, and they can believe it better. Yes.
I 100% understand, and I agree with you, because the bulk of women SMEs who have ideas and have things that they want to get across to other parts of the world, or even in Nigeria, who to believe in you in the beginning is always the problem. Like, how do they believe in what you're doing before they invest in you? And a lot of people have these issues, So I think one of the things I'm hearing you say is, yes, you've had this amount of results, but it took a lot of resilience for you also not to give up on yourself, on the idea, and on the people you are helping. So I think at this point, just to say to anyone out there who also has an idea that they are working on, it looks crazy, it looks like it's impossible, it even requires so much finance that you are thinking to yourself, how do I go about it? But I do want to say, first of all, Sherifat, please don't give up, for the sake of those who rely on what you do, for the families attached to what you do, to the people that, in their sleep, they are thanking God for you, especially with the economic downturn and the volatility we are all seeing today. So initiatives like yours are critical. And this is to go to say to everyone on that, look, what you're doing is not easy, but if you continue, and Sherifat, tell me, how many years have you been doing this for? Tell me.
Like from this side, 7 years now.
Okay, 7 years.
But
all
became very profitable in the last 3 years, 3-4 years.
So you
had 3 years were a lot of sacrifice, personal funds, loans. You have to even dispose your personal property to just keep going, because you're going to make presentation to 1,001 people in different states, just trying to push this idea, hoping that somebody is going to buy in on it and is ready to finance you. There wasn't any grant from anywhere to even come up with all of this. So you have to use a lot of your personal funds and keep pushing.
So good. Thank you so much. So I think someone maybe joined later. They are asking, what product are you talking about? So just tell us the aggregator model that you run at the moment, just in 1 minute, then we can move on to our first speaker.
I'm so passionate about this thing that 1 minute seemed like, like punishment.
I understand.
So essentially, like I said, we've positioned to have platforms that sell financial services on behalf of third parties to the government and banks and other individuals who want to to work. I mean, like I've given examples where we have had to give NIMS BVN to people, NIMC project. We've also had cases where we engage people as agents who then help if you need to collect data for how many XYZ, essentially enumerating businesses, data gathering project, and a whole lot of, survey, farm mapping, geomapping, fencing. So we've gone from just the financial services. We've also gone into agricultural based projects where we are actually having aggregation points. We put people into clusters in their localities, and they produce whatever they produce. They bring to the aggregation points. We pick up from there and link them up to the end users who then buy, the off takers at the end of the day. So they don't have to suffer much and leave much of it, because transportation for that producer, even they're going out of their physical environment, makes it even a bit tedious. So it's actually a whole lot of everything that we are into really now at the moment.
Super. Amazing story, Sharifat. Thank you so much for sharing. I really just wanted to bring you on because we want to ensure that people see that they are not the only ones going through this tough time. It's something that almost like it's integral to whatever it is that you are going through, but you will come out on top if you stay resilient, if you keep at it. I mean, in the last 3 years, you've been seeing the fruits, and you're still going to see more if you stay on course. I always tell people, stay on course. Don't worry about, what's happening, what's not happening. Someone is also asking the name of your organization, AgroPort.
We are known as Proper Agent Network Limited, Proper A&M Limited for short, Proper A&M Limited. I mean, there's a website, www.properanm.com, and we can look us up on.
Fantastic.
Some of the other partners we've also worked with, different state projects, state governments, different other wallet holders, Yowo, Apple, Sokoto State Government, the federal government, the Bank of Industry. So we have a whole list of partners that we've actually worked with.
And I think that is something that I also wanted to say, because when you start to push your work out there, you can gain, there's access to market, but the market is full of various players, And to be honest, I'm really glad that Sharifat got to share today. Thank you, Sharifat, for joining us for a few minutes. We're going to go right into our first speaker. She's already on. We spoke earlier this morning, and I'm delighted she's here because during our in-person workshop that we held in Abuja earlier this week to commemorate our Go Global Week operations, we found out that a lot of women who are in whether beauty, manufacturers of certain agro products and different agribusiness women SMEs were saying, look, I'm having issues with certification. It's why I can't go to market, either because of the access to this certification or the cost of this certification. How many of you can identify with it? Like you're like, I can't even afford to pay for this certification. It's too high. Where do I start? And all of that. So I think it's important that we talk about this and bring it to the table. All right, so Adedoyin says me, Lillian says Bilkis, I love it, exactly. So today I have a very important woman in today's meeting because she's the managing director of NISAT, but I'm just going to say a few things about Miss Annabelle. Miss Annabelle Kamuche is a lawyer by training, called to the Nigerian bar. She attended the Humboldt University Law School, Germany, where she obtained a certificate as an international certified mediator, negotiator, arbitrator, accordingly. She is a fellow of the United Nations Academy on Peace and Conflict Resolution, a gender human-centered development consultant, and qualified consultant on fair trade standard. I want you to take note of that part I just read. In her bid to contribute to the development of the agricultural sector economy in Nigeria, and to create access for Nigeria agricultural products to gain access on its merit into the international lucrative market, she recently joined other investors in a transaction with Ecosat Group of France, a global leader in conformity assessment and certification for up to, guys, wait for it, 96 different international standards, some of which are global good agricultural practices, global GAP, fair trade, UTZ, organic, IFS, and BRC. All right. Ms. Kamuche was appointed the first, she's woman, and so this is a very big deal. She was appointed the first managing director of the company, and after the required training, now leads the NICET group consisting of 2 independent teams. One is a team of consultants, and the other a team of inspectors and auditors, all trained and certified by Ecosat Group of France for conformity assessment and certification activities in Nigeria, with a wonderful, wonderful round of applause, guys. Please, 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 with your virtual hands, your proper hands, welcome with me, Miss Annabelle. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so grateful. I can see her, but I'm not sure your video is on yet. Okay, here we go.
So I added her on spotlight. Oh, she left again.
No, she's here. She's
Okay.
here. Hi, Miss. Hi, Annabelle. How are you today? Oh, we can't hear you yet. Can you hear her?
No, we can't hear her, ma'am.
Okay. Hi, Annabelle. How are you? No, we can't hear you just yet. I know, don't worry, we've been having issues like all day today, but it's okay. We're going to move whether or not. So you can try logging in again, maybe. Okay. No, not yet. All right, so while we wait for Annabelle to come back, I think one of the interesting things here is to just say that whatever issues, questions you have with regards to your certification, where you're maybe trying to, I mean, as a general rule, I tell people that never try to do this certification business by yourself. It's headache. If the country wasn't Nigeria, I may not have said that, but we're going to be talking about the solutions. Please don't forget the theme for today's Women in Business Breakfast meeting is access to markets, the challenges and alternative solutions. That is what we're going to be talking about today. Alternative solutions for you to access the market despite the issues. Okay, Annabelle is here.
Can you hear me now?
100%. Great job. Nice to have
Fantastic.
you here.
nice to be part of this great meeting. Thank you so much.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to hand over to you, and then we'll do your Q&A immediately afterwards. Thank you, Annabelle.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Lori. Please enable me to share my screen.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Just 1 second. Just give me 1 second.
Sure.
Okay, Ada, I think you also have you also have a copy of my presentation. If you don't mind, maybe you could just help me out so we don't waste more time than necessary.
Okay, I'll do that.
Thank you so much. You're so kind. So Ada, are you sharing it now?
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. My name is Annabelle Kamuche. I'm the Group MD of NISAT. I'll be speaking briefly on the topic, trade certification, a tool for accessing a tool for accessing, enhancing access to market for women entrepreneurs in trade. It's a privilege to be speaking to you this morning on a very important topic, which is still almost novel in Nigeria. Certification is one of the very essential keys or backbones to international trade. But unfortunately, we are just waking up to it as a people. And I'm hoping that at the end of this presentation, everybody who is part of this breakfast meeting today would go out with something very tangible or very important information as it relates to trade certification. Next slide, please. Okay, so I would start first by briefly explaining who we are and our business verticals before I go into the cross of the matter, explaining what trade certification is, the types of trade certification that is available, and how trade certification can be used to enhance trade, both international trade and regional trade. So about 4 years ago, I was opportune to be involved in a project with the Niger State government to draft, to set up a roadmap for the share sector in Nigeria. And I hope everybody here knows that Nigeria has the highest population of share trees in the world. So for the share trees, we have share trees are located in 1,000 kilometer belt from the Sahel all the way to Sudan. And within that 1,000 kilometer belt of the share region, we have about 58 to 60% of that the population of the share trees resident here in Nigeria, and about 54% of the 60% that we have situated in Niger State. But of course, the people in Niger State the people at the primary level especially, who are women, unfortunately, have not been able to gain benefit from these beautiful and wonderful gifts that natural gifts that God has given them. So when the governor came, this current governor came into power, he wanted to see how he can enhance the livelihood of the women in that region, and thought that the first thing to do was to draw up a roadmap so that it helps whichever investor is coming to invest to know which areas are new and where there are opportunities to invest in the share sector. Now, carrying out that particular assignment of drawing up the roadmap, we had to do a lot of research, we had to do a lot of traveling, and while we were carrying out that assignment, we realized that there was a major issue with products coming from Nigeria as it relates to being able to access international market. So we identified about 3 or 4 problems. The first problem was the issue of quality. The second issue was the issue of conformity to standards. The third issue was the issue of what is called responsible sourcing. And the fourth issue was the issue of certification. We came back to Nigeria and we began to think, how do we, now that we have identified the problems, how do we ensure that these problems can be solved within this assignment that we had? And we realized that it wasn't only for share, because we traveled to a lot of international conferences on cosmetics, and we realized that most people who we interviewed, the Doves of this world, most of these the chocolate companies and all of that, they all buy their products from Africa. Their raw material, they share from Africa. They have their natural lines. Some of them have organic lines. They claim to be buying from Ghana, from Mali, from Burkina, from even South Africa that does not have one shea tree. And nobody was buying any product from Nigeria. We were curious to know why they were not buying products from Nigeria. And the first thing they told us was that there was issue of quality. So you buy a product from Nigeria today, the next time you order for the same product, you will not be able to get the same quality. There was the issue of sustainability. So people say, okay, I can do X, Y, Z. At the end of the day, you sign a contract with them and they are not able to fulfill that contract. The third one was the issue of responsible sourcing. So within Europe especially, there is a law that inhibits big producers like Body Shop, like Dove, from buying products that they are not able to trace. So one of the issues that we have was the issue of traceability. They were not able to trace, just to ensure that within this responsible sourcing framework, that they know where the raw materials are coming from. So you find out that in Nigeria, for most value chains, you are not able to find out, you are not able to trace up to the primary level, whether be it at the farm level or products like shea, the parkland where this particular product is coming from. So it became an issue for them. So they can't buy from Nigeria. They would rather buy from a place where the sector is well organized. There is traceability system and all of that. So that they don't run into trouble because of the set down rules that are available there. And then the issue of certification also, because consumers are looking out for some certain labels that they would buy, because again, certification is market driven. So there's different kinds of certification. So when we came back, we were wondering, what do we do? And knowing that Nigeria already has, unfortunately, bad image in the international market, we wanted to work with a third party conformity assessment and certification body that has good reputation in the market and will be able to help us assess the market. With their certification, we'll be able to assess the market. We realized that it wasn't only within the share sector that we had this problem. This problem is cut across all the commodities within Nigeria, the agricultural commodities in Nigeria. So what we did was to approach EcoSat. From our scale, we realized that EcoSat at the time was about 26 years old, never had any incidents. They've never had to be suspended from by any of the regulators. So we approached them, and unfortunately, it took us 1 year, 6 months to get EcoSat to work with us in Nigeria, because they said to us, look, certification is an integrity business, and Nigeria unfortunately does not have integrity, and they didn't want to soil their good name by working with people in Nigeria. So for me, I remember there was some, the last speaker spoke about how, she has been doing all of these things on her own and all of that. It was the same for us. So for me, it was both a combination of prayers and, working hard to get them, to convince them that, look, every Nigeria is not bad. They are within the Nigerian space, good Nigerians, and of course, people who don't have integrity, again, within Nigeria, just like you have in other countries. And we had to take the bull by the horn by going to EcoSat office directly, because they said to us, okay, if you want to work in Nigeria, no problem, work with our Burkina office. They are the ones in charge of West Africa. But remember that Burkina speaks French and we speak English. So what it means is that it will not be able to, it won't work, because their auditors would only understand French, and even the ones who understand English don't understand English completely. So it was not going to work. And the cost of certification, again, was still going to be high, because you have to bring in these expatriates into Nigeria to carry out this certification. And remember, we are all going to, both the people in Burkina, Mali, Ghana, all of us we end up in the same international market where we want to sell our product. So if the products from Nigeria is high because of the cost of certification, we will not be able to compete. So we decided again to go by ourselves. we found where the EcoSat head office was in Toulouse in France. And I told my partner at the time, I said, you know what? If Mohammed will not go to the mountain, let mountain go to Mohammed. And we decided to take a trip, an uninvited trip to EcoSat in France, their head office. And, you know, they were surprised. We were there before the office resumed. They were surprised to have us. They asked that we pay for the time they would spend with us. We did all of that. And then it took another 6 months for them to agree to work with us, because at the time when the new administration, the Buhari's administration, came with all the fights against corruption and all of that, I kept sending to them different things that we are doing to ensure that that the government is doing to ensure that Nigeria is positioned as a corruption-free country. And then one day I was sitting in my office and I got an email saying, okay, we will work with you. But it was not an easy work. But I'm glad again that we are here today. So I would just, so that is the brief story behind NISAT. So I would just go ahead to explain who EcoSat is. So please, let's just remain at slide 2. So EcoSat is a third-party conformity assessment and certification body that is accredited to certify that products have complied with international standards for export. So this EcoSat, what it simply means is that EcoSat is accredited by different international regulatory bodies to ensure that products have complied with their standards, for those products to be able to have their label, and then also have certificate as proof of compliance. So the various international standards would include organic according to the EU organic regulation, organic according to the USDA, United States organic regulation, organic according to the Japanese organic agricultural standard. It would include fair trade. It would include global good agricultural practice standard. It would include Rainforest Alliance standard. It would include HACCP, which is Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Point. It would include ISO 22000, ISO 9001. It would include other standards like GOTS, which is for cotton and garment. There is a gamut of various international standards, but it will be important for us to note at this point that for any third-party conformity assessment and certification body to certify for products, they must have accreditation to certify sale. So we work with EcoSat. So our arrangement with EcoSat is that we work with EcoSat using their own accreditation, because we don't have our own accreditation yet. We use the EcoSat accreditation within the NISAT. Within the NISAT organization, we have qualified auditors and inspectors who carry out audit and inspection on behalf of EcoSat, and EcoSat issues the certification, thereby reducing drastically the cost of certification. So for us as NISAT, we have 2 subsidiaries. There is NISAT in partnership with EcoSat, and then there is NISAT Expert Consulting. We had to set up a new company, the NISAT Expert Consulting, because when we came into the space, we realized that not only was the market a sleeping market, there was unfortunately no standard for primary production in Nigeria. Even as we speak today, there is no standard for primary production. So it became too difficult. It became difficult for anybody to be able to comply with international standards. So the first thing we had to do was, as NISAT in partnership with EcoSat, it would amount to conflict of interest for us to go into consultancy, because it would be like being a judge and a jury in your own case. So we had to, according to the rules for certification bodies, to set up a firewall, and to create a firewall and set up a new company called NISAT Expert Consulting Limited with different personnel, different from NISAT Limited, that carries out training on compliance to various international standards. We also provide monitoring and evaluation using digital solutions. We also as part of our business, we set up supply chain structures because we found out that the only way you can create traceability, which is one of the most important aspects of access to market, you need to be able to have traceability system. So when you set up a supply chain structure, it makes it easy for you to be able to have traceability system in place. And then also we also realize that, look, certification is beautiful. All of the things that we want to provide is beautiful, but people will have to have an incentive to want to do the right thing. So if you are trying to change a culture, you have to bring something that becomes an incentive for them to change from what they are doing to what they need to do. Luckily for us, when off-takers, international off-takers heard that EcoSat is now represented locally in Nigeria by NISAT, they started coming to us asking for companies that we have certified or companies that are certification ready. So we now started to create a B2B market linkage deal room services where we connect people, we connect local producers to foreign off-takers directly, and thereby ensuring that the local producers get the incentive for complying with the standard that the international buyer wants. Next slide, please. So EcoSat is in about 58 countries, and it's accredited, like Olori has said, to up to 150 various international standards that gives you access to the international market. So I will just briefly explain our business verticals or business sector. So we do studies and stakeholder engagement where we carry out visibility studies, we carry out market intelligence, we carry out, we help, we create engagement with both people at the public and the private sector, just to ensure that we begin to create the traction that we want to see in exports, whether be it within the African region under AFTA, which is the African Free Trade Area Agreement that Nigeria has signed into, or the global market, which includes the US, the EU, even the Middle East also. So we also carry out, as NISAT expert consulting, trainings like I said, we carry out consultancy services. We are working with a lot of banks also to create traceability system. We set up supply chain structures for very big companies like Valency, like ETG, like Wakot. We are helping a lot of these companies set up supply chain structures so that they are able to work with our local producers directly and take products directly from them. We are also working with My Teacup. So there are a lot of companies that we are setting up supply chain structures for. And before setting up the supply chain structure, we do our needs assessment and all of that, just to ensure that we have a seamless transaction. We also provide like I said before, project management using digital solution, monitoring and evaluation. We are doing that under the Anchor Borrowers program and other kinds of program where you are aggregating smallholder farmers together to, and there is an off-taker or an anchor who is either carrying out an in-grower or an outgrower scheme. We develop tools for traceability for companies who want to do, especially for companies who want to comply with HACCP or ISO 22000, and they have to be able to trace where their raw materials are coming from. Next slide, please. Okay, so for our business vertical for certification, we have various certifications that we're able to carry out on behalf of EcoSat in Nigeria. It includes so the certification. I know that a lot of people will be asking, what is the difference between the certification that you provide and the certification that, for instance, SON or NAFDAC or quarantine provides? So there are in the certification sector, there is what is called mandatory certifications and voluntary certifications. So for mandatory certification, there are the SPS certification, which is sanitary and phytosanitary certifications that are local to your nation. So for every country that has been registered with WTO, they are expected, for instance, to conform to the sanitary and phytosanitary standards, which would include what you see NAFDAC doing, the certificate that some provides, the certificate that NAFDAC provides, phytosanitary certificate that is provided by Quarantine. However, most countries, and all of these standards are based on the Codex Alimentarius standard. So if you are registered with WTO, if your country is signed up with WTO, what it means is that you are expected as a country to be in compliance with the Codex Alimentarius standard. However, what other countries have done, even within Africa, they have now improved on the Codex Alimentarius standard to have stricter food safety standards that ensure that the products that are coming into their country are in compliance with minimum food safety requirements. So that is for mandatory standards. However, there are standards that are called voluntary standards. So these are some of the labels that you will see. If you see the USDA organic standard. So for instance, let me take the organic standard for instance. If you want to export your product into the US, into the EU, into Japan, for instance, to Canada as organic, if you want to term it organic, if you want to label it organic, it means that you must comply with the organic regulation of the country that you want to certify, you want to sell your product, you want to export your product into. And these regulatory bodies in the various countries like the USDA, the EU, Organic Council, because they cannot be everywhere. So what they do is that they issue accreditation to third-party conformity assessment and certification bodies to certify that products have complied with that standard and issue certificate as proof of compliance. So for organic, for instance, is both voluntary and mandatory, because if you want to send your product into those countries that have organic regulation, it must comply with their regulation, and you must be certified by a third-party conformity assessments and certification body that have been accredited by them, and you must show your certificate as proof of compliance. So it's not like what we have in Nigeria, where people have what is called self-acclaimed compliance to, for instance, organic. So you find someone who just labels their product organic. They are not even able to trace, for instance, where the raw materials are coming from. And then there are also certificates, certifications that are called ethical certifications, which would include, like, for instance, fair trade, Rainforest Alliance. So for fair trade, for instance, what it means is that you are complying with the international labor law standards, that there is no child labor, no forced labor, good working condition for the people at the primary level, transparency in terms of pricing along the entire value chain, and people are ready to pay premium for products that are certified for fair trade. But bear in mind that all of these certifications that you are seeing are product specific. So they are product and market specific. So you find products like where they have a lot of drudgery at the primary level. People will want to pay more when they see the fair trade certification, like coffee, like cocoa, like cashew, like shea butter, like ginger, some of people who are doing hibiscus tea, all of the teas that you find, people are ready to pay premium just to settle their conscience that, the people at the primary level who are producing the raw material have been taken care of, and that there is no forced labor, no child labor. Even people who are doing garments, you have to comply with the fair trade standard if you want to be able to get the big stores to buy your product, because again, they need to be able to comply with what is called responsible sourcing. And for people who are doing processed product, initially HACCP and ISO 22000 used to be a private voluntary standard, but post-COVID, it has now become not just only a private voluntary standard, but almost a mandatory standard. Because I'll give you an instance. People who used to send products to the US initially were only expected to register with FDA. But post-COVID, there is now a stricter food safety standard. What the US did was that they harmonized the USDA and the FDA Act to come up with what is called the Food Safety Modernization Act. And within the Food Safety Modernization Act is what is called the Foreign Suppliers Verification Program. That Foreign Suppliers Verification Program insists that even if you have registered with FDA as a company outside of the US, that you must comply with minimum food safety standard, which is what producers within the US are complying with, either ISO 22000 or HACCP, which is called the Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Point. And the same thing goes to people who are sending processed products to the EU and even to the Middle East. For instance, if you are sending to the UAE. There are also standards like the Global Good Agricultural Practice Standard if you want to be able to compete. And for Global Gap, initially Global Gap used to just be a standard that big supermarkets came together and set up just to create a niche for themselves, for people to know that, look, they have gone beyond just complying with their producers have gone beyond complying with just the regional standard, that is the EU regional standard. They have now begun to comply with a stricter standard called the Global Good Agricultural Practice Standard. However, about 2 years ago, 2 years or a year ago, the EU have now decided to come in and adopt or domesticate the Global Good Agricultural Practice Standard as a regional standard that you must comply with. So you must comply with the Global Good Agricultural Practice Standard if you want to send in fruits, vegetables into the EU. Next slide, please. I'll just run through the slides because I think I was just notified I have 5 minutes left. Okay, so how do we now, listening to all of this, how does this translate to access to market? I am sure that from the things that I've said already, everybody can see how these certifications can help to create access to market. It will interest you to know that the organic food market is estimated to be about $168 billion in 2020 and predicted to grow by to $369 billion in 2026. And the global the global market for fair trade is about $10 billion. And unfortunately, we have the products that require both organic and fair trade, but we are not playing in that space. When we came into the country, we realized that foreign-owned businesses that have these certifications. And when you invite them for fora, they don't talk about certification because they don't want us to know. But what we have now done is that coming into the country and coming into the business space for certification, we've been able to right now certify about 17 operations for organic, about 50 operations for HACCP, about 2 operations for ISO 22000, about 1 operation for Global Gap. Whereas in Ghana, for instance, we have over 200 operations for Global Gap and over 500 operations for organic and countless operations for HACCP. And the question is, people will be asking, why is it that when our products is sent through Ghana, they will be ready to buy? The answer to that is that they have been able to create trust and they are complying with international standards. So next slide, please, so that I just run through it. So what we've always had is we have businesses that have products that has a lot of potential in the international market. But what happens is that they are not able to comply with the standards. So I'll give you an example. Nigeria is the 2nd highest producer of cashew in the world. But guess what? Our cashew does not go to the real market. Our cashew ends up in Vietnam. Vietnam is not the niche market for cashew. So what they do is what is called intraport trade. So they buy products from Nigeria, they homogenize it as Vietnamese cashew, and they send to the niche market, haven't complied with the standard, for instance, for food safety, HACCP or ISO 22000. So they homogenize it, they send it as Vietnamese cashew. So when sustainability programs come, it doesn't come to Nigeria because Nigeria is not in the index. The same thing is happening with our ginger, the same thing is happening with our shea, the same thing is happening with most of our products. So we are not able to gain access into the lucrative market. Even though we realize that most of the businesses in Nigeria are owned by women, as against men. There are a lot of MSME businesses that are owned by women. But the products, whatever it is that they produce, is not able to get into the international market. According to the Price Waterhouse, we have about 41% of women-owned businesses in the micro and small medium industry. So the question is, how do we grow and become so big that we are able to leave the shores, our product is able to leave the shores of Nigeria and get into the regional market? My fear with the AFTA, which is what Nigeria has signed right now, is that Nigeria will soon become a dumping ground for products. So if, for instance, by the time the AFTA, that's the African Free Trade Area Agreement, takes full effect, what would happen is that most people from other countries who already have products that are in compliance with international standards would be able to bring their products into Nigeria. And even though we are able to send our products to those countries, if we're not in compliance, because their people are well enlightened on what needs to be done, it becomes very difficult for our products to be able to sell. So for me, it's important. I know I've taken a lot of our time. It's something that is very passionate to me. So it's difficult to work within an agreed time. So please bear with me. But what I would want everybody going out from this breakfast meeting today to understand is that it is very important that we get market intelligence. So what market intelligence will help us to do is to know the niche market where our products can get into, is to understand the standards that the products needs to comply with, and is to be able to sell the products into the niche market and make profit and expand. I look forward to seeing you at the top. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Annabelle. Thank you. I do not think that we have enough time to drill into all that you have in store for us. But thank you. And I must first of all commend you and your team for the great work that you're doing in NINSET. Thank you for going the extra mile to put Nigeria on the map for certification. So we really, really appreciate that. We did not have enough time to go over. Oh yes, okay. I don't know why that is though. Okay, so we did not have enough time to go over all that you had in store for us, but hopefully when we take a few questions, we can see how we can touch base again. Thank you, Mrs. Annabelle. I just a quick question before we go into the questions from the audience. How can the conformity assessment and certification gap be bridged to be made accessible to more SMEs and women SMEs in particular, especially in the light of their low working capital? Madam Annabelle, are you with us? Okay, so I think she's having a bit of network difficulty, so we're just going to wait for her to join us. For those who joined us midway and maybe missed out on a couple of things, Madam Annabelle is from NICET. She is the managing director of NICET, and she was sharing with us the journey that NICET has gone through to bring a standardized certification to Nigeria. And she also went ahead to further share with us the impact of this certification. And she segmented them and told per certification what each business would need to be certified. We're just going into the Q&A. Is Madam Annabelle back? All right, just to move on, we might just have to move on to the next speaker. Is she back now?
1 second.
Okay.
I think it's her network. She's gonna join, she's gonna rejoin.
Okay. So for me, I picked up quite a lot of things, and it's such a bummer that she was unable to go through everything that she had in store for us. One of the areas I think we can begin to channel our attention to is begin to look at, as business owners, how we can leverage on a couple of support groups that make these certifications available, and see how we can subsidize to gain access to it as well. And now I'm so glad that there is an incentive. I'm so glad that there are incentives to encourage business owners to be part of and to get certified. For example, you can see that the markets that you're looking for, B2B, B2C, they have a directory. People come to demand for the directory of businesses who have been certified. So now you know that if you want to gain access to these markets, certification is like to be on your top for you to gain access to them. Is Madam Annabelle back now so we can have the question and answer session? I think she's joining with her audio to take the question and answer session. One of the other things, in fact, when we started the session, one of the things I had in mind was, okay, now with the AFCFTA, can we have something that is more Africanized, a certification that is unique to Africans? But after listening to her and seeing how much trust, quote unquote, that we've gained in the international, with international bodies, I can now tell why, as Africans, we would still, at least for the next few years, be reliant on other international standards, other international bodies for our certification. Madam Annabelle, we're just waiting for you so that we can have questions from the audience. We have quite a couple of questions in the chat box that unfortunately we can only have about 1 or 2 so that we move on. Is her network good now?
Hi, Annabelle, can you hear us? Okay. Ada, so I think we'll probably have to move on. So you can, yeah, exactly. And then you can just, if she comes back on, then definitely you can take that Q&A session with her. But we're going to go now into our next session. Now, the questions are so many that, of course, you can imagine at some point we actually want to bring all the key players like NICET in the person of Annabelle and her team to actually do, coffee roundtables where we can even go deeper, because you can honestly say that 2 hours we'll still be discussing these things industry by industry, sector by sector. But beyond the talk, how many of you want solution? Like, tell me what to do. You understand what I mean? Like, tell me exactly what needs to be done. Exactly. Modupe is like, exactly, blessing, I hear you. So beyond the talk, we really just want to know what is the next step. What is the process of ensuring that we have this certification and conformity assessments done to standard, the cost. one of the conversations that Annabelle has had with our team is, she wants us to present ourselves as a group. So the Borderless Trade will present those who are interested as a group. Going to these organizations and institutions one by one is a waste of time. I promise you, you're going to be there waiting and waiting and waiting. So we've already had these preliminary conversations on how to fast track everybody into the process and get you started. Issues of traceability, supply chain structures, which a lot of people need. That supply chain structure under the NICET consulting arm is very, very needed. For a lot of you here, you need to sort out your supply chain on a local level. And okay, guys, can you hear me back? Okay, thank you, Hadiza. I don't know where you heard me last, but we'll just move on to say that everybody needs to get plugged. I need to go connected. We're not doing individual process kind of arrangements. Everybody is going to be taking as a group, because that is also what will help NICET as well. Now, I just want to also manage your expectation, because I feel sometimes when we want this certifications and all these other things, we think it would be like that. You heard how long it took NICET to be a part of EcoCert, 6 months. Please be patient with your process, but start now. I always tell people you can get into any market, but you need to start your process now. If you don't start now, how will you play, right? We're also going to be talking to them about the cost. I know the cost is expensive for HACCP. Sometimes it's like 1.5, million naira. For some of you, it's even as high as 2.5 million naira. I understand all these cost implications, and I promise you, we're working on it. Adiola says 1.8, exactly. So at this point, I want to speak as we go on to our next speaker. I just want to be sure he's on. I think to a certain extent, you have to also begin to think about how not to lose your orders because you don't have trade finance, right? Trade finance is an important part of going into any market, whether domestic, whether regional or international. The market is not going to open up because you have a good product. The market is going to open up because you have all your ducks in a row, where this certification, product standardization, all of those things are in place, and even to a large extent, your capacity. If you want to grow your capacity, the question is, for some people, how do you do growing of capacity if you can't even get the order? All right. But I think one of the things I'm learning very fast is that you have to get finance to be financed eventually. I don't know if that makes any literal sense, but you kind of need to take that bold step and just say, you know what, I'm going to expand my capacity, I'm going to expand my operations, and also accept loans, grants, and anything else in the middle. As I mentioned earlier, we're so proud to announce this partnership with Jetstream Africa, but I'm going to read a little about Nosa, who is our next speaker. And, this is like one of the, when every year when you have like one big achievement, for us, it's this securing this trade finance for women in business. Of course, the company is not just for Nigeria, it's Pan-African, and that's also why we love it, because we're not also just called to Nigeria. But I'm going to just quickly read a little bit about Nosa so you can understand who we have in the room. Nosa is the Vice President, Strategic Partnerships at Jetstream Africa. Jetstream is an e-logistics company that leverages technology to help African businesses to see and ultimately control their own cross-border supply chains. He is primarily responsible for overseeing partnerships for the organization's strategic, commercial, and financial relationships. Now, before Nosa joined Jetstream Africa, he was the Nigeria country manager for BFA Global's Catalyst Fund, an inclusive tech accelerator focused on supporting innovators designing solutions for underserved customers in emerging markets. His previous roles include community manager for the Pan-African Entrepreneurship Program and Tech Incubator, MEST Africa. And I think one of the things I love particularly about Nosa is he is very vast in the area of whether it's tech, startup acceleration, incubation, investment. So I know that what we're going to be hearing from him today is going to be very rich, and I would really want everyone to please pay close attention to his presentation. Nosa, nice to have you here with us.
Hi, Lori. Thank you for having me.
Hi.
Yeah, and thank you for that introduction. I think you've raised the bar very high. I can feel myself, my palms sweating now.
Nice to have you here.
But,
Everyone, please welcome Nosa. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I think fingers crossed that my internet does not do what the internet has been doing today. Also, apologies in advance. This is not my real voice. The weather doesn't quite agree with me, so I have a little bit of the flu. So we're delighted to be partnering with the Borderless Trade Network. Like you mentioned, at Jetstream, we're an e-logistics company, and we are very keen to support Africa's businesses involved in the cross-border trade space. So today I will be talking specifically about one of our products, which is called Jet Finance. Without further ado, I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, great. Can you see my screen, everyone?
Yes, it's loading.
Okay. Please let me know when you can see it.
We can see it now.
Okay, fantastic. Great. So I think the topic I was tasked to talk with today is Jet Finance, and specifically a case for providing a non-traditional solution to trade finance challenges. So like Olori rightfully mentioned, trade finance is a key part of the portfolio of any cross-border trader. Whether you are importing, whether you are exporting, and even if you sit in the middle, such as a person like a freight forwarder, there will always be need for you to access finance to be able to turn around your transactions. There will often be cases where you have an order, and maybe you just completed one order, and now you have a second one, and you don't really have access to the financing required to meet that. Or in some cases, you go to traditional financial institutions like banks, and like we like to joke around here, they tell you to bring your kidney, or your property that you've not built yet, so that you can use as collateral to be able to access finance. So there are a myriad of challenges when it comes to accessing finance, and what we are trying to do is really provide a non-traditional solution to some of the trade finance challenges that are faced in the cross-border space, particularly for importers and exporters. So moving into this, I think we already spoke a bit about what we do, but going into it, so essentially, we're an international e-logistics company. Our parent company is in Baltimore, USA, but we're very centered on African operations. Our Africa head office is in Ghana, in Tema, for those of you who know Ghana quite well. We also have an office in Lagos. And I think one thing I should also mention is we actually do have a bit of our operations happening in Egypt at the moment. And essentially, we're trying to use technology to enable Africa's businesses to see and control their cross-border chain. So we're really about simplifying cross-border logistics for African businesses. And that's why we're really excited to work with the Borderless Trade Network, because we realize that there are a lot of African businesses in the room now and in the network who can benefit from some of the products that we offer at Jetstream. So I think it wouldn't be remiss to start this presentation without just speaking high level about a few key numbers that give you a sense of what cross-border trade is like in Africa. So we see from this dashboard here that Africa's contribution to world trade is a measly 3%. You know, so when you look at the fact that, you know, we're talking about we need to grow trade in Africa, we need to get certifications, quality, we need to access finance. There's a really big problem that we need to solve. You know, 3% of entire world trade is what Africa contributes, and you agree with me that that is far from good enough. In addition, the value of imports to Africa. So if you look at the shipping costs out of your entire cost as a cross-border trader, shipping accounts for 11.4% on the African continent, which means that Africa already has the highest shipping costs in the world. So as an African business, before you even decide to ship or to receive any shipment, you're already at a disadvantage because the cost of shipping is so high. And I'm sure for pretty much everyone who buys some kind of foreign good or the other, you tend to understand, you tend to feel that impact immediately because that cost is passed down directly to you. Interestingly, as tight as the situation seems to be, about 43% of our income, you know, on the African continent is tied to cross-border trade. So you don't necessarily need to be an importer and an exporter for your income to tie to it. Even the people on the streets who hawk foreign products are also kind of tied to this cross-border trade economy. And then I think this for me is one of the most startling numbers, the amount of opportunity lost by Africa in world trade. And I think this was measured annually is $70 billion. So there is $70 billion that we as Africans are leaving on the table every year because we're unable to participate actively in cross-border trade. So that just sets the tone and gives us a sense of the scale of the problem. So like I mentioned, you know, the cross-border trade does disproportionately impact Africa. We also see that we have the highest shipping costs and of course transit times. And one of the reasons for this also is because there's just not enough trade. A lot of the vessels that bring products to Africa are not even at capacity, right? So there's so little commodity to spread that cost across. So a lot of inefficiencies, and a lot of times, even the vessels that bring products to Africa are the oldest, slowest, most fuel-consuming vehicles there are, because obviously no one is going to send their best vehicles to bring product to a place where the trade is, you know, or take products from a place where trade is not that great. So yeah, a bunch of challenges here. And then I think, yeah, this is just another number here, and this from UNTAD that basically says total trade from Africa to the world is at $760 billion. So I think there's still a large part of the pie that can still be accessed regardless of the challenges. And the question we're trying to answer at Jetstream is, how do we make this accessible? So broadly speaking, we are trying to solve three challenges at Jetstream with technology. One of those challenges is fragmentation of the market. The second one is financing, and the other one is infrastructure. I'm going to just talk briefly about our suite of services, but essentially we're going to drill down into financing. So we have three products out in the market. The first one is a platform called Jet Logistics, and essentially what this does is enable end-to-end freight forwarding. So if you've ever tried to bring in anything to the country and you've had to be calling, I don't know, Mr. Joseph or Kamaru in Apapa port to ask him, oh, when is this coming in? How am I going to receive it? Why are you not picking my call? Or my goods are entering demurrage. So we have created a platform that essentially allows you to do end-to-end freight forwarding of our logistics platform. Jet Finance is our digital trade finance product. I'm not going to talk so much about it because that is what this presentation is centered around. And then, of course, we have a product called Jet Vision, which is pretty much still in development. We're hoping to launch it in Q4 of this year. But essentially what it's going to do, it's going to take our Jet Logistics platform and also add some ability to track your cargo, to plan your supply chain. So it's essentially a supply chain management platform that is integrated with end-to-end freight forwarding, and also be able to allow you to do analytics on your business. So you can see how much do I averagely spend when I ship from one point to another? How much time does it take? Is it better for me to maybe use land freight versus sea freight for this particular area? Does this port give me less charges? But just, just generally those business intelligence, outputs that help you plan your business, properly. So yeah, these are our three offerings, and we will now dive into Jet Finance. So the key goal of Jet Finance essentially is, enable people to speed up their supply chains, right, and be able to do more. Because, like Olori said, if you don't have the capital, it doesn't matter what certification or what access you have, you're just not going to be able to meet your orders. So that's really the key goal of Jet Finance. So Jet Finance enables quick, easy funding. It's rapid, it's digital, it's secure. And I think interestingly, it also requires zero collateral to enable cross-border traders to meet their financial obligations. Under Jet Finance, we cater to a number of financing requirements. I think some of the four highlighted here. So one is invoice financing. So against you have an invoice you've received from different suppliers, you need to pay against those invoices. We can carry out those payments on your behalf. We can pay for duty financing. We can also do invoice factoring. So where you have invoices that you've received in the past, and you're basically saying, okay, because I've done business with this person, I need this amount of money to be able to supply more cashews to Vietnam. But you don't actually have maybe a PO or whatever for that particular order. We can use your historicals to do that for you. And then, of course, purchase order financing, which I think is it's one of the most common ones for exporters. Someone has given me a PO to say, oh, fantastic, I like your certification, I like your product catalog, deliver me, 2 tons of cocoa to China or whatever, or 2,000 tons, metric tons to China. The question is now, how do I finance that? Because you need to probably buy those products from aggregators at farm gates. You need to haul that product from the farm gates to your warehouse, maybe to a sorting center where you maybe do some pre-processing. Maybe you need to buy diesel for your processing plants, and of course, you need to ship that. So we can do purchase order financing. I think another thing that is also interesting to add here is also specifically we can do just freight. So I want to move my cargo on this ship from Nigeria to wherever, or from another country to Nigeria or anywhere else in Africa. So we can also do freight. So the question on everybody's minds now is, okay, how does this work, right? I promise you it's not magic. So I'll go to the next slide so you see how this process works. So essentially, this is our process for Jet Finance. So it essentially starts with submitting a financing request to Jetstream. So usually to submit a financing request, the customer contacts our sales agents, and through the digital platform, they submit the relevant KYC and business registration documents. So one of the things you will be asked for to use Jet Finance is KYC and business registration documents. We want to be sure that you are who you say you are, that your business is registered where it's, where you say it is, and it's into the line of business that you say it does. Then the next level is we ask for bank statements. So this is really very key for us because I mentioned we do not require collateral. So our credit risk analysis is solely on the back of the bank statements. So we want to see, we do things like cash flow analysis. We want to be sure that this is actually a corporate account, that funds have been coming in and going out for corporate purposes. And, it's not, an account with a minimum balance of 5,000 naira for the last, 10 months or something, like asking us for $50,000 or something like that. So there's a lot of analysis we carry about on there. I think also when it comes to paying for things like invoice discounting, we also want to be sure that you have been dealing in the past with similar, if not the same, but with similar suppliers, similar storage, similar haulage type companies. So that gives us a sense that this business does have two things. One is what we call the capacity to pay, and two, to some extent, we can also forecast a willingness to pay as well. Now, interestingly, our credit analysis and decisioning happens within 72 hours. So we have a credit model that we built. We have an algorithm that basically calculates on the basis of this information shared. And in 72 hours, we can tell you, provided that all the documentation is, so I have to put that caveat, you have to have submitted all the documentation. We can tell you that we're able to finance you. So you receive a credit decision, which essentially is going to be an approval or a rejection. Now, importantly, once there is a financing approval, the funds are sent to the vendors and proof of payment is shared with the merchants. So we do not, you will not see a credit alert which says Jetstream has sent you $10,000. We don't, because it is trade finance, it is not a loan. So we are not going to send the money to the business, to our customer. We pay on behalf. So you will only receive proof of payments that says your suppliers in, I don't know, Iceland or wherever have been paid. They've received your haulage company in, I don't know, Oshodi or wherever, or Ijesha has been paid. And you are basically able to carry out your transactions. And one of the reasons we do this is also to de-risk it, because we also understand that one of the challenges is there's always challenges with managing liquidity, right? We don't want a situation whereby you now have to access the financing. They now have to go through the stress of now making those payments to the suppliers, asking for bank details, making a trip to the bank, logging onto your app. So we carry all those on your behalf. And yeah, that's pretty much the process flow for the way this works. So I think some of the benefits of it I've already mentioned: fast and easy verification of documents, disbursal of funds, approval and disbursal of funds within 72 hours. It's easy, it's secure. No one is ever going to be able to rob you because the funds don't actually hit your account. Payment is made on your behalf. And yeah, so those are some of the great benefits. And I think I just thought I'd wrap this up by talking a little bit about our team. So this is our C-suite team. As you can see, I'm happy to point out to the fact that there's a 50-50 gender split on the C-suite team. And we are actually a female-led business. So our CEO, Misha, is a woman, as you can see from the picture, and so is our chief of staff. So this was a particularly interesting partnership and proposition for us because we're essentially putting our money where our mouth is. We were always founded on the tenets that gender inclusion is important for Africa to grow. We reflect that within our company, and we're happy to be reflecting that with our partnership with the Borderless Trade Network. And yeah, that brings me to the end of our presentation. So I'm sure there will be a few questions, so happy to take those questions now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nosa. I think at this point, I'm also going to bring up Annabelle, if she's still here. 1 second. So if someone could help me add Annabelle, that would be great. Thank you, Nosa, for that very direct presentation. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to it. I feel like I've heard it a few times, but I still see sort of new things every time we kind of go through it. Now, we do have someone from Ghana, Lillian. Lillian says that she would love to connect with your office in Ghana. Is that possible? She's joining as a participant. Nosa, is that possible? Okay, my network. Is it my network? I don't know. You have to ask this question today because there's so much. Yeah. Okay, now it's his. Okay, great. Well, I'm glad he's finished his presentation before the network started to misbehave. And, you know, Annabelle sent her apology. She's like, she keeps getting kicked out with the network. And I'm gonna just answer as many questions. So Lillian, I hope I was able to answer your question on their behalf, I assume. Okay, so Nosa will join, he will rejoin in a minute. So in Ghana, I think we can get the address for you for their office in Ghana. So please look out for it in the chat box. We'll send that across as well. Okay, I can answer some questions on behalf of Jetstream because obviously there are many things that we've been able to talk about and comb through. We just submitted our first batch of women and men for the onboarding and getting them on the platform for Jet Finance. And I really want to encourage you guys, you know, last year we lost so many people's contracts. They lost a lot of procurement deals, all of those things, because they couldn't meet up with the financial burden, you know. And I just want to say to you that access finance with your full chest. I don't know how else to say it. Like, don't put yourself in this box of, I didn't see anybody do it in my family, so I don't know how to do it, right? We are going to be holding your hand. But I say to people that, and I hope that with the people we brought today, as we round up the session, you know, is to see how easy it is when they say it, isn't it? When they all come and tell you how to do this, you're like, oh, this sounds easy. This sounds very, you know, like you can do it. But what we want to encourage you here is to understand that everything is a process. So as you decide to go global, is there any woman on this call who wants to go global? So I know I'm in the right room. Like, are you here? Are you in the room with me? These are the women that we're looking for. You know, exactly. Fantastic. I'm in the right room. I'm in the right room. Okay. Adiola is here. Busola, you know, I can see numbers, AWE numbers. So I can't see your full names, but Tori, exactly. We're ready to do this. In order for you to go global, there is a mindset. There is what? A mindset. Then there's now a process. And that process is something that I want to encourage you. Please don't try and jump over it. There's no need. There's really no need. Go through it one by one, but find the people that can go through it with you. All right. So like I said in the beginning during my remarks, you need to go through it in a program. This program is not something that we're doing alone. So we partnered with Leading Ladies Business Institute. Ada is going to tell you so much more. They've done so many trainings for women across Africa, over 11,000 women. So we decided and said, you know what? Somebody said, I'm globaline. I love it. Globaline. Is it globaline or globaline? I don't even know now. But, you know, I think it's just something that everybody needs to pay attention to. Then when you get the how, you proceed accordingly. Now, you're going to hear from our partners, Isoa Okoje. She's on the call already. I saw her earlier on. But Ada is going to bring her up and she's going to tell you so much more. She's the executive director of the Leading Ladies Business Institute. But your questions and everything that you want to proceed with, please put them in the comment section. Like I said, we're going to have a coffee round table with all these people you've heard from today. Once you join the program, it's not something that we can open again. You know, there are too many people. How do you begin to just throw out the nest? So what we've decided is let's contain the people. And how many of you know that talk is cheap. So many people say, oh, I'm ready to go global. When you now lay out the process and you show them the way, you now see a lot of sort of like, I don't know what to call it, like they get overwhelmed, by the sheer amount of intentionality. And that's what I always tell people, that they are not intentional as they think they are. Okay. And I know those women don't exist in this room. So as AWE women, we know that after such an extensive and really rigorous training that has brought you to this point of even further like empowering you and ensuring that you have the knowledge you need to thrive in this business world, going global is easy, but don't be a dropout, as Tomisin said, okay? Ada, I'm gonna hand over to you. I do want to say a big congratulations once again to all the women who are on the call. And yeah, I think to a large extent, I'm looking forward to the in-person program that's coming up next week. I want to thank Ascent Studios Foundation. I want to thank AWE Program, US Consulate. I want to thank Jetstream Africa and NICET. I mean, the list is on and on and on. All the Abuja people, I can see some of you on the call. It was nice being with you earlier this year. And the Global Woman Program will be what we will be discussing next before we end the session for today. Is Ada here?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. Hey, PI. Hi, Isoa. How are you? It's good to have you here. You're muted. Let me unmute you.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank
fantastic.
you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
It's raining cats and dogs, and so I'm happy to shout on top of my voice.
Yes, we can. We can hear you, absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Olori, for holding the fort. Thank you for the words of encouragement, actually, because as a woman in business, if you're ready to do business, please put all of your heart and all of your strength into it. There is no room for drawback, especially as she had earlier mentioned, if you've been given so much as the AWE program, and as they say, to whom much is given, even much more is expected. You've gotten all of these trainings, all this empowerment. Please put your hand to the plow and not look back. Take advantage of all these opportunities that you've been given and start running with it. Thank you so much, Dr. Olori. And we'll try to find a way to answer all of your questions, both for NICET, Madam Annabelle, and for NUSA, as much as we can. And then we look at the possibility of having another session where you just throw in your questions, should you be interested in any of these opportunities that have been presented. And now we go to the juicy part of today, our partnership with the Leading Ladies Business Institute. And I'm so delighted to have the delectable, I'm okay, it's okay for me to call you Pastor, right?
So it's fine.
I find it difficult. I just don't know how to not call you Pastor. All right, so I'm so delighted to have Pastor Isua Okoje, the Executive Director of the Leading Ladies Business Institute. We've had to go into partnership with the Leading Ladies Business Institute because of their reputation for equipping women in business, and they've done this for a long time now. I heard of a record where they so far empowered over 11,000 women in business, with the right skills and the right knowledge. So who better to have this sort of partnership with than the right people who have been doing this over time. Now I'm just going to allow her to take the floor and tell us more about the Global Woman Program. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ada. It's been such a great time, on this call today. It's been such a great time. Please let me know that you can hear me loud and clear. It's an amazing day today in Lagos, Nigeria. We thank God. I'm so excited. As all the speakers were talking, Annabelle, Nusa, and even Sherifat who came on board, and of course Olori and everyone who has moderated any aspect of this program. I just remember this African proverb, and it says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with others, right? You never find someone who is successful in any field, in any endeavor, who is going alone, all right? You find them in communities, you find them with others, you find them with people who have the right information, and any resource that you will need to aid them on that journey. I'm not even going to bore you with everything that has been said again and say it again and again, but I ask you a simple question. Who is going to handhold you and take you to the globe? Olori said something very interesting. You can't even go alone. It's impossible. I'm telling you, it's impossible. The systems, the structure. I mean, how are you really going to do it? Maybe your third generation. Maybe you would eventually get there. But what we've done together with the Borderless Trade Network and the Leading Ladies Business Institute is to put forces together to take every woman, every African woman especially, to the global space. I mean, look at the statistics that NOSAD gave us. How can we, as powerful as we are, as a continent, only contribute 3%, oh my goodness, to international trade? It tells us that we have loads and loads and loads of opportunities waiting for us. We currently are still leaving $70 billion on the table. Why? Because people do not have a roadmap as to how to walk into the space. Something Olori said, there is a mindset and a process. And that's what we bring you with the global program. The mindset and the process. You see, you can't go global with a local government kind of mindset. Someone says, if I'm going global, why do I need to engage in local government affairs? That's it, simply. When you know you're going global, you don't want to spend your time or waste your energy, just doing little things or small things. So for us, with the Global Women Program, it's a 360-degree transformation as well as a whole hand-holding process to walk you into the nations. The nations are there, the opportunities are there, right? When you're talking about global information, standardized practices, exposure to market, trade financing, market intelligence, conformity practices, certification, how would you do this? And that's what we present to you. We're saying, don't just come and be trained. We want to walk you through the ropes and help you arrive at your destination. I mean, I've known Olori as an individual for maybe like 7 years now. And of course, the Borderless Trade Network, and how, she has consistently stayed on this path and, opened up women to opportunities that exist. I mean, I think it was Nosa that said, and it's so true, the statistics are there. Even in Nigeria alone, women, are big stakeholders when it comes to the SME and the MSME space. Our goal is to empower women to occupy this place fully. Because I believe that the African continent is waiting for women to rise up. I believe Africa as a whole is waiting for women to take the opportunities that are there. You agree with me that a person who is running on one leg cannot run fast enough. That's why we need African women to arrive. You see, if we are going to do it individually, Sharifat said it took her, I don't know how many years. It took her several months, to break through. I mean, she didn't break through. She ran the business for 7 years. But didn't break from the 3 years. There are not so many Sharifats, right? I mean, Annabelle said it took her a long time. So the export certification company, they were not going to see her. But these people have made a way. And what we're doing is walking you through an already established path. So on the Global Women Program is everything you need to know. From the right mindset for your business, to certification, to access to market, to trade financing, name it. Branding, name it. There's nothing that you want that you will not get on the Global Women Program as an entrepreneur. So we're looking forward to having you on board. I mean, it's a great partnership with the Borderless Trade Network and the Leading Ladies Business Institute. We look forward to having you there. All right, we've got the back of every African woman. We are saying that, we are contributing and you have access to opportunities that already have your name on it. So I welcome you on board. I look forward to seeing you. You're going to get, loads and loads of information about the Global Women Program. For those of you asking, how do we start? How do we get certified? How do we do so and so? This is what we present to you. We present to you the Global Women Program. And we ask you, come on board and we'll take you to the globe. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, Pia, you were on fire. What's going on?
We're ready to take women to the globe.
Wow, as in we are indeed. Thank you so much, PI. Thank you for all of that regarding the Global Women Program. See, ladies, like PI said, we cannot say it any much more than she has said it with so much charisma. You cannot go anywhere alone. You can't go far alone. That's the African program. You can't go far alone. You need a network of women. You need a group. You need the hand-holding mentorship. You need people who have gone ahead of you to tell you this is how it's been done. And it's not just theoretical talk now, but people who can walk the walk with you and people who can show you their own results to say, see, this is what we've done. These are the challenges we encountered, and this is how we were able to navigate it. Especially with reference to the story from Madam Sherifat about the challenges she encountered in trying to do it alone. But see, with a network and with a group of people, how far you can get with it. So let's see if we have any questions regarding this program. Again, just to mention a few highlights that we need. The registration is officially open. So with the links that are being shared in the chat box, you can enroll for the Global Women Program. I do believe that there is a mark, and once we hit our mark, the registration closes. But then registration closes on July the 8th. I understand that. Registration closes by July 8th. So once we reach the mark of number the capacity we are looking at, we'll close registration. So if you're interested, of course, feel free to join. If you're interested in the program, please feel free to join using the link below. Are there any questions? Let me see if we have any question in the chat box. Okay. Yes, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat box and we will take your questions. Thank you so much, PI. It was so amazing having you on ground, and thank you for sharing with us regarding the Global Women Program. And yes, of course, we look forward to seeing you in class, all right? Thank you. So as we try to wrap up for today, hi, please would the recording be shared and made available online? Where's the venue for the Go Global? It's going to be hybrid. It's going to be a hybrid program. So once you enroll, further information will be given to you, Ngozi. The recording be made available online. Well, at the moment, I cannot confirm that, but of course, please we have your email addresses, those from the Ascent Students Foundation's Academy for Women Entrepreneurs and people who registered for the program. And if it will be made available, we'll share thereafter. All right, I see that that's the major question a lot of people are asking. Will the program be repeated? Does it include those in the service industry? PI, do you want to take a few of these questions? Does it include those in the service industry? Yes, according to the curriculum I did see, I think there's a space for those in the service industry. Let me try to unmute you.
Yeah, I wonder if you could share a little on the curriculum. Would you just share a little bit about what we'll be covering?
Okay, I can do that. I can share about the curriculum. I think this will give us a lot of insight into what the program is about. I don't take too much of your time. Now, what the Global Women Program will do structure, position you, all right, for the global space, give you every single thing that you need, and even community support, all right, till you go global. All right. And like I said earlier on, it's an initiative of the Borderless Trade Network and the Leading Ladies Business Institute. So it's a capacity building program to empower women with the necessary tools to go global and compete in that space. All right. What we're doing is taking women-owned programs or business now, all right, to the global space. And everything you need to know from how to start a business, how to run a business, how to put structure in that business, how to position your brand for the globe, certification, trade finance, and even the access to market. So we walk you through every single phase of going global. Now, some of the course modules will include, let me see, I can run through this quickly. All right, so we have principles guiding business and personal success. All right, we have mastering goal setting, psychology of personal development, because you see, before you can go global, you have to have the right mindset. All right, so what's the mindset about going global? That's the first question. How do businesses that go global, how do they think? How do they represent themselves? All right, so from the mindset to the know-how and eventually getting into the market space. That's part of it. We have strategic business planning, where we talk about the new world order. All right, where are we right now? You know, one of the biggest resources that you would have as a business person is information. And you get information in the right place, right? Whilst there are a lot of people saying, oh, you know, the economy, the downturn, the this and the that, there are people that are getting wealthier by the day. How and why? It's information, right? So we have trading beyond borders, all right? How do you now go global? We have product development, all right? That's what we do, packaging, branding, export documentation. It's loaded, ladies. I mean, it's super, super loaded. Like, we assure you that, you know, going through this program, you will land in the globe, all right? Wherever it is that you want to go, all right? So we have international client management, all right? So that's where we introduce you to clients. We help you set up the client journey, all right? Strategies to retain your clients and keep them loyal, relationship maintainers, you know, export contracts, I mean, name it, negotiation and documentation. It's a whole lot. We have marketing, where we talk about global e-commerce, digital and social media marketing. We have financial management, where we talk about international payment terms. We help you understand the payment terms. We talk about export finance. We do risk management as well. You know, I believe that's one space that most people have lost money in going global. It's because they can't mitigate the risk. What we'll do is help you manage the risk every single step of the way. So from the point where you actually start that business, if you haven't started already, or you have started and you're still on the low level playing ground, to where we introduce you to the right kind of mindset to going global, we introduce you to the concept of running business globally, and then we take you further and begin to introduce you to the step-by-step processes of eventually taking your product from your local space to the international market, right? So every access to information that you need and taking you by the hand and ensuring that you actually get to your desired destination. On this program, we are assuring you that there is no information that you need to get. And you see, I mean, look at the people that we brought on board, Annabelle, Nosa, all right? They are part of the support team as well, who would help you along every step of the way till you eventually, you know, get into the global market. And we don't even leave you there. There's still a community again as well. You know, that community support as well is very, very, very important. All right, so we support you every single step of the way. Now, let me say this just before I get off this call. You know, if you're thinking about how to hedge your funds, and how to protect your funds from inflation. I mean, one of the ways you can do it is export. That's the truth. It's in export. And for people who have products or services, that you can export to the globe, don't keep it. Don't keep it. All right. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of the women on this call on board the global program. And if you have women who are not here as friends, who have fantastic products, all right, and you're saying, wow, this, your product is bigger than this, introduce them to the Global Women Program. All right, like Ada said, we're closing registration on the 8th of July. And as soon as we hit our quota, the number of women we can accommodate per session, we move on to take these women to the globe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, PI. This is so good. Thank you for expanding on the curriculum. Now, ladies, you've heard, this is not the program you want to miss, and this is not the program you want to sit on. We truly appreciate it. Now, there's so much that you need for your business in this program. You have branding, you have knowledge on export strategy, and it's pure hand-holding. So please don't sleep on this. The registration link is in the chat box, and please do well to register. Of course, we're going to be giving priority to the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs participants. So feel free, as soon as you register, you can indicate that you're from the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs, and you'll be given priority preferential treatment. Thank you so much. And now we've come to the end of the program today. I just want to thank our partners, Ascent Studios Foundation and the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs. Thank you so much to all our facilitators and every speaker that has come here today. Thank you, PI, for coming on the program. Madam Sharifa, thank you so much. And we had a couple of for the AWE participants. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you to the AWE participants for making it, and thank you to every one of you for making it through to the end. Finally, I'm just gonna hand over to Adiola to close out. Hello, Adiola, are you there? All right, I think you can unmute now.
Hi, Ada, I'm here.
Hello. Yeah, so I'm handing over to you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, the Borderless Trade team. Thank you, Dr. Olori. It's always an amazing and exciting time with the Borderless Trade Network. We're a family, so thank you once again. Thank you to everyone that joined the call. Thank you for staying through, though the network tried to steal our shine, but no. The God of Borderless said no. Thank you, everyone, for today's session. Thank you to our speakers and ladies. Please, Ada's dropped the link for you to join the Go Global Network. Please register. And yes, all AWE matters will be discussed on the AWE platform. Please, this is for Borderless Trade Salon series. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and you registered. Oh, okay, all right. And we have quite people who are registered on the network already.
All right.
Oh, yeah, you have. Oh, excellent, excellent. We have to go global. Women are ready. We're ready to go global. We've dropped the link again. Please check. It was empowering. Thank you. Yes. The website. Yes, someone just drop it. Please check the chat. Lara, please, can you drop it again? You're asking for it. Please let me know if you're done, if registered. Let me know. You didn't indicate if you're AWE. Okay, all right, registered, very educative. That's for Go Global. Yeah, that's it. You need the guide. Okay, Ada, can you please give like a short summary of what the platform is for? I have two people said they need the guide about it.
All right, we'll share that in the chat box now.
Okay, all right, thank you. If you've registered, no worries. They're going to share more information to the email you provided, and then you get the details about the program. So that is fine. So thank you once again, everyone. And we've come to the end of today's session. Adza, my one and only Adza, thank you so much for today. You added your AWE number to your name, no problem. Please register. Register. Thank you. All right, so till we meet next time, should we unmute everyone to say bye and then we end the session? You'll get it. Yes, she'll share the guide. No problem. You're gonna get it. Yes, you're welcome.
Once you've registered, you'd get.
Yeah, just register. You're gonna get further information to the email you provided. Thank you, Dawn. Excellent. You're saying thank you to the Borderless.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your time so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye.
No mail yet. Hold on. Everyone is to register, please. Madam Davis.
Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Davis.
Yeah.
Great to be here.
Register. You made a lot of difference.
I've not registered though. Please, you should send the link again.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate your effort. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, sis.
Bye.
Bye.